I'm Chris Keith Lucas, and I'm the founder of CKL. CKL is, oddly enough, my initials, which you probably have worked out already. Well, I've pulled back really from day-to-day management of the company, and I'm now dealing with all matters historical, technical, and trying to pass my knowledge on to the next generation in the company. And my succession plan really has kicked in and is working very well, and it's really exciting because the new incumbents are really driving the company forward, and it's very busy and it's very active right now. I think it was 1999, really. It was my 50th birthday. It was my 50-year-old midlife crisis kicking in that made me do this, I think. So there's a restoration side which is particularly geared towards 50s sports cars, particularly Jaguars, but often other things of the same period. So you'll see Listers and Cobras, that sort of car coming through. At the same time, the other 50% of what we do is race support and race preparation, and we seem to be getting more and more active with that as every year passes. At a very young age, I was exposed to engineering and aircraft engineering because that's what my dad did. He had a business partner called Hugh Conway, who was a real expert on Type 35 Bugattis. And at the age of 7 or 8, I remember driving an engineless Type 35 down his sloping drive with him running along beside me, pulling the handbrake on while I steered it. And something went in then. I then did an ordinary engineering apprenticeship, doing ship's diesel engines, steam turbines, real proper old-fashioned engineering. But once I'd finished that, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to apply my engineering knowledge to cars? And I was put in touch with somebody down here in East Sussex, a guy called Guy Black, and together we built up a company called Links Engineering. And Links Engineering was my life from sort of 1973 to 2000 or so. So it was a good quarter century of general experience, including Jaguars, but all sorts of other development work, modern car work as well. Then come 1999, I think I thought it's time to go off on my own and just get back on the tools. I was spending too much time at a desk talking to people. So we set up, it's just me and a friend in a shed trying to do vintage car work. I wasn't even looking to stick with the Jaguars, but the customer loyalty was with me, and I hadn't realised the extent that would make the phone ring. And within a couple of years, really, we were very busy running Jaguars in historic racing and restoring them and advising on them, and I haven't been able to get away from Jaguars. I think it's an attachment which I really enjoy. We have come by a 4-cylinder Jaguar engine from about 1947 or something of that sort. It was going to be the power plant for something called the XK100. Well, you've heard of the XK120, which is a 3.5 litre car. The 100 was going to be a 2-litre car, and this was going to be the power plant for it. It never happened because for some reason Jaguars couldn't make enough 120s, let alone any other model, so it was sidelined. However, it is our intention to actually recreate an XK100 using old XK120 and period parts and get this as historically correct as possible. It'll take a lot of research, a lot of digging to find out just exactly what the specification was. Funnily enough, if you sit in the Goodwood Road Racing Club canteen at the revival meeting, you will see tablecloths with pictures of Jaguar engines on it. Fantastically, there is a cross-sectional picture of that actual engine on those tablecloths. So that's the sort of thing, we've got to find out where that came from, find out more drawings, find out more specifications, and build up as big a file as we can before we start work. When we moved to this estate, which was in a peculiar position of being semi-derelict, and we kind of finished it off, but the buildings were named B1, B2, B3, B4, so forth, so not really very exciting. And so we thought, let's rename them with something memorable, and we took some of our favourite names in motorsport. Woodcote is the building we're in now. Of course, Woodcote's not only at Goodwood, where there's a very nice Woodcote corner at Silverstone as well. Arnage is definitely not local, but yeah, we've got a building called Fordor. We've got Paddock, which is Paddock Hill Bend at Browns and so forth. So that was the reason for those names. It was motorsport inspired, and of course those are also our stores. And you can't have a nice tidy workshop like this without having quite a lot of space to store things. And I think there are 75, 80 cars probably in storage at the moment. That's not our only store. There is another one or two off-site of the same sort. What is my favourite car to work on? Well, I suppose I am in love with the D-Type. You know, that is, to me, just one of the ultimate designs. It's just a gorgeous thing, and I love being associated with it. The most legendary car here, actually I look around and go, wow, there's the E-Gal. It's probably my most favourite car because it's lunatic. But the car here that probably is the defining car is E2A. This is the E-Type prototype, and it's just an amazing artifact. It was built in a very short period, end of 59, beginning of 60. It raced at Le Mans, it raced in the States, and it created the platform off which the E-Type Jaguar was built. And it's just fascinating to me just to look through it and see how it was all done. So yeah, E2A.
Another special vehicle, I suppose I should call it, here is the truck outside. Tell us a little bit about that. What is that?
Well, you're asking about the Kyriakos truck, and okay, we talked about E2A, but that's another one of my most favourite artefacts. I've been associated with it. I first saw it in the late 60s, I think, when it was probably only about 8, 9 years old. And it's the first multi-car race transporter I think ever built, as far as I know. There were race car transporters, for example, Mercedes did an amazing aerodynamic one in the 1950s to take their cars to Le Mans, but I think they only took 1 or 2 cars maximum on that. So the Kyriakos truck was built in Scotland, in Falkirk, on a Commerce chassis, and it's just a glorious piece of period design. Everybody knows it, of a certain generation, because Corgi made a little matchbox model of it, and even people who hate cars look at that and go, oh my God, I had that Corgi model when I was 4 years old and my big brother threw it down the stairs, or something like that. You know, it's a story for everyone, and yeah, it's a lovely, lovely bit of equipment. When we bring it to Goodwood Revival, it always creates gigantic interest. We'll keep bringing it. I have a home workshop, and I work here 2 or 3 days a week, the rest of the time in my home workshop. And if I'm not communicating with the world from my desk, I'm on the lathe machining little widgets and bits and pieces for the company, restoring a steering wheel or something like that. So I have managed to get back onto the tools in my old age. This time of the year we're probably doing a little bit more restoration, and in the summer we're doing a little bit more race preparation. But in fact, race preparation continues right through the winter, because this is the time everything gets pulled to pieces, crack detected, engines rebuilt, chassis checked for cracking, all this sort of thing. It's a very short winter. You know, we're in November, just beginning December now, and by the end of March we're back testing. So it's quite a short period. eventually you have to retire. But yeah, where would I like to see the company going? I think they will always get the advantage of the very solid roots that we've put down. I mean, this company has got a very stable base, and I'd just like to see it grow organically from where we've got it now, which is a very good place. It amazes me sometimes the stability and the security of the reputation that we've built up, and they value that too, and so that's going to provide the base for the future. The new incumbents, our new managing director Mark Hughes and his co-director Tim Mason, are fully equipped to move forward. Well, they are already. They are forging ahead, but my job is really just surprising the support, the old knowledge that I carry about specific cars and the engineering, the technical side of them. And in fact, I'm trying to put that all down on paper for them, as well as being in a teaching role all the time. Where they will take the company will be down to them. I would expect that some other newer machinery will creep in. There'd be something wrong if they didn't, you know, because Mark's half my age. I'm 73, he's 36. You know, so he's got a whole different experience to bring to the company. So watch this space. The youngsters that have started with us are ones that we've already narrowed down from quite a big field. From there on, then we try and provide a proper apprenticeship where we're working with these guys, the Heritage Skills Academy, which Mark was partially instrumental in setting up in its early days. So they'll be doing a week here, a week there, picking up theoretical training at that end, practical training here. It's working really well. I think that the Heritage Skills Academy has been a great boon to this, because it was becoming more and more of a problem to find youngsters with the right interest and experience. Now we're getting them and we're training them. And who knows, we may not be able to hold on to them, but we will probably also benefit from ones that have trained with other companies. In the end of the day, you have to be confident it's all going to be all right and it will all even out. What do we look for? I suppose it's passion. It's looking to see, do they have that real underlying interest? You often can't tell the rest, because when I was an apprentice, I'd already been using hand tools from the age of 10. But it's very unusual now to get youngsters who have worked in their dad's workshops or been allowed to pick up tools at school, because health and safety prevents them working with sharp things and so forth. It was never a problem in my day. You learnt pretty quickly with sharp things, but we're looking for that passion, and we can do the rest. Do I pinch myself? When you're the last one out in the evening and you've turned most of the lights off and then you just stop for a last look around the workshop, and sometimes I do have that sort of goosebumps moment and go, bloody hell, what have we done? You know, but the place is full of cars which are legendary, and there is so much experience and excitement built into all those cars. If they could speak, what a story they'd tell. And yeah, but there's that magic moment as you lock up at night where you just take it in.